Welcome back, Game Time Streaming fans, to the Motor City Entertainment Regional Dart Tournament here in Waterford, Michigan. The beautiful Century Bowl bowling alley right here on Highland Road. We have a level 1 finals match between Nick Jones, KC Cleaver. These guys did battle it out for the Kingseat. Nick took the top spot. KC won that 2-3 match to come back and play Nick a second time. Reminder, this is a race to 2, and we are playing all cricket. If KC wins 2 of the first 3 legs on the first match, he's going to have to do it all over again. He's got to get double. Nick has to get double dipped. He is the Kingseat. KC did win the cork, so he's going to go first. Getting his headphones in, getting ready to go. What do you think, Derek? Who you got in this race?
The way Nick has been shooting, it's hard to go against him. Casey does have the power to dip, but the ball is in Nick's hands, and he's got the game for it. He showed it. He has been sitting, so maybe that could have the Kingseat could be not always a blessing.
Yeah, it's a blessing or curse, right? You get to buy and you get to wait and kind of hang out for a little bit until you have to play again. Nick and I were just over warming up a little bit on the side. He beat me pretty handily, so I think he's probably ready. But we'll see. You know, Casey coming out strong out of the gate. Nick hitting singles and just not finding it yet. But he likes top of the board. He likes the whole board. Kid's a player. Big 7 mark from KC. That is the nice part about where he is coming from in that 2-3 match. He had to sit for a while, but he did just get to play a match before this and coming back. Nick's just got to find a groove, settle in. He's got to remember that, you know, even no matter what, he plays a bad first leg. He does have a few left. He has the advantage of being able to lose 2 and still have an opportunity to take home that first place plaque. Casey's still firing, though. Like a butcher throwing a cleaver, man. I know that axe throwing is in the other part of this bowling alley, but he's chopping it in there right now.
This is exactly how the first time they met, this is exactly how it went. Casey came out firing. Nick came back firing, and then the third game was a pretty tight match.
I definitely missed the first game there. All in all, Nick's still only a bullseye behind. He's got a heck of a lot of houses to catch up on. Can't do it all with 3 darts. Probably just going to, even if he hits first dart bullet, might just go hammer points. 2 of his fallouts ended up as marks. Leaves it pretty open for KC to hit a bullseye and end this leg, though, and we'll see what leg number 2 holds. Casey does first dart double, throws a 4-1-3. Impressive darts. Nick gonna try to fight back here though. I know the kid pretty well. Not a whole lot of quit in him, so we're just gonna hope that he comes out and gives us a good second leg. Nick finds 3. Casey follows with 6. Nick does still have the high ground though, so we'll see what happens. KC trying to walk the dog across those 15s. Just misses outside on that triple 10. Does put Nick in a tight spot, though. He's got the 20s. And, you know, if he wanted to switch, if he finds a weird hole or a weird hanger there, he can switch to the 18s. Only finds 2. Starts to see a little bit of frustration there. Just has to kind of keep in mind that he does have an entire another match to kind of settle in, just in case. Nick a 6 mark behind on the 18s here. Only finds 2. Really opens the door for Casey to really shut this leg down. Shut this match down if he wins this leg. Stays on the right side of the board. I like the play. Closes those 18s down. Forcing Nick into those 16s. Gonna have to battle on the corner pockets.
Casey is determined. Love it. You can see it in his face. Catching Nick off guard here. Coming in hot. Warmed up. Nick's gonna have to get the blood pumping here.
Yeah, and if Casey pounding triples in after triple doesn't get the blood pumping, I don't know what does. But Nick's very much a momentum player. Playing against him and with him a good bit. Starts finding the triple bed. They're going to start to fall.
I love watching Nick's throw. It's such a direct arrow. Casey's not playing no games, going for the dip.
That's one scoop down. Let's line it up and do it all over again. Both these guys requiring just 2 legs to win first place plaque now. It's a big match.
A diddle that's never been more important than right now.
See Nick putting headphones in. I think KC just took his headphones out. This is a battle of the music.
No, I didn't.
See what's going on. I know Jeremiah said yesterday that he doesn't like headphones, so that the players can use them as a little bit of a crutch sometimes. What do you think, Terry?
Well, you're not allowed to have them at PDC. So if you can't have them at the highest level, then you don't want to get used to them climbing the ladder. I do think that there's times that call for headphones. Maybe if you just can't stand the music that's playing or whatever, but it's not something you want to depend on, especially you don't like the song that comes up, you're constantly trying to change the song on the radio. Maybe they die, maybe you forget them at home. You don't want to depend on it.
Yeah, never good to be dependent on anything. Me personally, I'm an audiobook guy. When I play darts, it just kind of settles me in and settles me down. But I think Casey's headphones went back in after that cork. Nick only 2 marks to open, but Casey only 1 behind. Might be a little bit of last match jitters here. Nick just kind of all around the board there. I think dart number 2 was at the 18s, trying to get a second house. Only 2 marks required for KC to get rid of those 20s there and kind of no harm, no foul it. Trying to open up another house, but he does look down first. Top high, he probably goes for the close here and just finds a single. As I'm sure in his opinion, as poorly as Nick feels like he's playing right now, KC still leaving the door open.
Yeah, Casey went up to the 20s without having a house. Tough call there.
And I really like Nick's open there. To open up on the 19s, knowing that Casey already has an X in the 20s, try to get a second house, knowing how easy it's going to be. But after that second dart miss, you just kind of have to bail into those 20s and go get some points. Little hesitation. I think he thought about the going down. The way that Casey's been hammering those 19s now, it is hard to switch. And dart number 3 falls into the triple one. Casey gets the close, goes back down and finds a triple. Going to put Nick, once again, literally the same leg that we just had. Nick 6 marks down, or 5 marks only this down. He has already got a mark in the 18s for now, and needs one more to tie it up in points. Does find it, battling a little bit from the low ground, but he's got a mark in those 19s, which might come in handy later. What a 5 mark. To be up less than a triple and then to take that poke at close is pretty impressive. It is gutsy. Maybe he's a Lions fan. It's a Dan Campbell-esque move. Forcing Nick those 17s. Does find 4. So he's within striking distance here. But Casey's been so good on those 19s. It's been tough.
Yeah, he's really hammering them in there. Nick's going to have to hit 7 mark just to recover from this.
I think a big theme of the weekend, Derek, has been the fact that we keep saying don't let a bad turn into a bad leg, into a bad match.
Players, if you need anything from X1 Elite, now is your
And Nick typically pretty good at that, not letting 3 bad darts turn into a bad leg or into a bad match. Sometimes you only get 3 bad darts and then it doesn't matter. Kind of the case in point in the last leg there, the second leg of the first dip. But Nick does have an opportunity. It just needs to start finding a bunch of 15s. Casey just firing right now. He's finding everything. Yeah, he's fired up, ready to go. I know Nick is bound and determined to win this too. Neither of these guys wants to let this go. Just Casey's firepower so far, at least in this leg and these 3 legs that we've seen, have been a little bit much. Nick just.
Well, you know what? Casey's going to live by the sword and die by the sword. He's taken some risky shots that if he would have missed, could have changed the outcome of this first game. So if you're going to stab, you got to hit. Hopefully he plays smart here because he's got the game for this dip. But Nick is going to come back. He is a veteran of the game. He's in the king seat for a reason. He's not backing down. He's not nervous or nothing. Nick's a great shot.
Absolutely, and you know, I mentioned Dan Campbell and the Lions. You know, when it works out, it's awesome to watch. As a Packers fan, it's not that awesome to watch, but when it works out, it's awesome to watch. You know, fake punt from your own 20-yard line, and it works out for you, it's incredible. The downside of that is if those darts start to go to the wrong side of that wire, all of a sudden you're throwing at 1, and you're in a lot of trouble.
Well, the risk has got Casey this far, and let's see if he changes strategy. Maybe plays a little bit more conservative, seeing that he has one up here.
And if those triples start to fall for Nick, darts is a game of momentum. If Nick starts to put a little bit of pressure on, starts to find a triple here or there, those wire darts that are going in on the wire right now might just start to fall on the other side. Not yet. Casey just keeps hammering in the 19s, but Nick throwing a 4 mark in the 20s there helps. If he finds 4 more in the 20s, he may even go take a look at closing that 19, just knowing how good Casey's been on that bottom half of the board.
Casey's not letting this 20 go. It just depends on if he's going to go 19 first.
Confident double, and hey, if you're watching at home, there are some really good dart players, maybe one of the best dart players in the country, that lives and dies by the double. The only problem with the double is if you miss on the outside, it's a 0. If you miss that, if you aim for that inside wire, that double, and one goes in, it at least gives you a mark. But that outside double, that high double like that, is a risky maneuver. And that might be the first stab at a triple close that Casey hasn't hit in the last 4 legs. Nick should recognize that as an opportunity and really try to punish that. And Nick, a more conservative cricket strategist, knows he's got not the high ground, but just trying to get a big point lead, especially with the way Casey's been playing on those 19s. And for the first time, not one triple goes in. Nick's got an opening to really kind of put some pressure on in this leg.
Able to swing momentum right here.
I love the switch. I really do, Derek. I love the switch and I love the strategy. It didn't work out. There's a lot of times that I tell my partners, hey, I'd rather have you throw the right darts and them not go in than the wrong darts and have them do. But then, goodness gracious. An 8 mark, those are big darts, and not much you can do about that. Five mark, Nick's not going to give this leg up and just kind of wander off into the night. He's going to fight back. That board is not bouncing. Our camera is bouncing just a little bit. These soft floors at Century World are prone to a little bit of movement in this camera. So we apologize about that, but we promise the board's not moving. Just our camera. Nick forced to the 16s here. Needs 9. At least a 5. And does. Puts him down 90 points. That's, 6 more 16s. I would assume that 90 points is going to be more points by the time that this turn is done. But we've seen a lot of really big pokes and stabs from KC here. He just, in true form and fashion, he goes and takes a stab and then just collects on another triple 19. One turn in 5 games or 4 games so far, Derek, that we've seen him not collect on that triple 19.
Yep, you can see it in his face. Casey's a steel tipper, and he's a focused dart player. He's hungry. He's back there. He's ready to go. He's been battling back in that loser bracket, and he's ready.
Yeah, we're in a little case of rest versus momentum here. Nick had the rest, Casey had the momentum, and that is the trouble. Nick does have to hit 9 to really punish that miss, but that's the trouble with throwing at that double. I know that he kind of had it bracketed and field goal, and there was a hanger on top, but that double sometimes can put you in trouble. Four marks back from Nick there is about half of what he was hoping for. Didn't quite get there. Nick, I think, is just going to go close these 16s, whether it takes all 3 darts. If you're going to throw 2, throw 3, and he does. Of course, Nick in those 15s. Nick needs a 9. Nick needs a 9 right here. Casey, big darts, really kind of closed the door there. That triple, I think, showed a lot of respect to Nick, just running up that point score just a little bit. And yeah, I think Nick's kind of resigned to what is about to happen here. At that point for me, Derek, I just go close those 19s probably, because I'm so frustrated and would just want to stop the bleed. But just like the 19s, Casey walks up, fires in a double bullseye, and puts himself right on the tippy top of the hill here. And like happens in darts sometimes, they just don't go in. No matter what you do, they just don't go in. Congratulations to Casey Cleaver, your Michigan State dart or regional dart tournament level 1 champion. 381. I think that might have been the lowest average you threw in all 4 of those legs.
Yep, congratulations, Casey. Great shooting, Nick, though. He's been shooting good all day. Casey has been winning everything he's been in lately, so looking forward to seeing him in Masters soon, shooting like that. So congratulations, Casey. Thanks for tuning in. We've got some big matches coming up. Stay tuned. Thank you guys for tuning in to Game Time Streaming. Derek Howard, Jake Rieger. We'll see ya.